How are you going to declare, depart from that past if your aspirations comes to reality, using Edo State as a case study?
You see, that's why right now I'm not talking about the big ticket items. I'm talking about primary health care. The need to have primary health care in every community, every political ward. The need to make sure that our schools are well maintained and have teachers and teaching aides, primaries, secondary. The university, yes, it would have been nice to give bursary to every student, but maybe for a start we cannot afford it. So we can begin to look at GPA, maybe those that score 4.5, 4.8. Let's start with those ones. As we get more money, we'll begin to come down. And I am saying I will basically be implementing these SDG goals. They are 17. But maybe the first term in office, my first term in office, before the end of that first term, I would have fully, to a large extent, implemented 1 to 6. One is elimination of poverty. Where you say, can you really eliminate poverty? We're not talking about poverty in Nigeria today. We are talking about the multi-dimensionally poor. I will tell you now what the meaning of that is really. So we're not talking about even the poor today. Now, secondly is no hunger. People go to bed hungry in this country today. Maybe you don't have relatives that go to bed hungry, but I have. That's why I consider myself a poor person. If I can have 3 square meals, which I don't, I have 2. But there's no time for the third one even. There's no time. In the last 30 years, I can't remember the last time I had 3 square meals.
Not because you can't afford it.
Not because I can't afford it, yes, but I have people that who cannot afford it. So hence they are eating once a day or twice. They go to bed hungry, they wake up, they don't know where their next meal will come from. In the 21st century, and they said it's not acceptable. So number 2 is no hunger. Number 3 is health care. Health care and well-being. Number 4 is education. Number 5 is gender equality, where the women are talking about 35%. What's the other word?
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action. Then number 6 is clean water and sanitation. This is not rocket science. This is SDG. And Peter Obi said he basically just implemented this in his state as governor.
Funding is a major challenge for any government, particularly under the circumstance that we're in with the global economic challenge and all of that. How do you intend to drive funds to be able to achieve all of this if you have the goal?
Well, that's why I just read out some of from goal 1 to 6 in SDG. Who are those supporting SDG? The multilateral bodies, World Bank, and the rest of them. If they see transparency in your implementation, they will support it. The present government can attest to the assistance they've received from these bodies.
So which means you go the way of borrowing from World Bank?
There will be grants. Even if the World Bank is going to give you loan, 2%. That's like free money. But what's the utilization? What do you use it for? That's what I'm telling you, that because I have conquered greed, that extra that people are starching away, I don't need it. I proved that in my 8 years in the National Assembly. No contractor that came to work in my constituency can tell you he gave me a naira. 1 naira, I'm not saying $1, 1 naira. Instead, when they are working there and when I think they are struggling, I support them with my own money, my personal resources. So, because I have conquered greed, no matter, whatever should I be set aside for, say, rainy day, there's no rainy day. God is in control of my tomorrow. So today is rainy today. Let's try and fix the roof. If you fix the roof for all, that rain will not beat anybody.
People are talking about homeboy and the technocrat. Where do you belong?
Well, I am a technocrat, having served in the oil and gas industry for 25 years before going into government. So I have the experience of the private sector and the public sector. And I went to all my schools in Edo State. I schooled in my place at home. I schooled in Fuga in Edo North. I was in Polytechnic in Edo North, Auchi. Then I was in Uniben here. So would that make me a homeboy? Yeah, it's left for the viewing public to say.
All right, let's quickly cap it up before we take some few calls to end this conversation. When you look through the spectrum of what obtains in Edo State currently, what are those things that you think you can do better in terms of project execution? We've heard this conversation long time where those in government say, this is federal government project, this is state government project, and all of that. What are your thoughts?
You know, we talked about multi-dimensionally poor just now.
Yes.
Okay, this is not me, it's the definition. What does it mean to be multi-dimensionally poor? Multi-dimensional poverty encompasses the various deprivations experienced by poor people in their daily lives, such as poor health, lack of education, inadequate living standards, disempowerment, poor quality of work, the threat of violence, and living in areas that are environmentally hazardous, among others. And these people are living under $1 a day. So, when somebody says you are talking about poor people, what about the rich?
Yeah.
When you take care of these people, the rich can sleep well. Because they are drivers, they are chefs, they are gardeners. A lot of their relatives are poor. When you can take care of these people, that's when you will not have somebody saying, my uncle is in hospital, my dad is in hospital, I need help.
Okay.
Because you have functioning primary healthcare center where they will pay little or nothing to get attention, right in the village there. Same thing with schools. So if people are not calling you to assist their children to go to school, assist them to take care of their health, why will you be having that headache? When you take care of these people, you're actually helping the rich. Because investors will come into a state where there is peace, where you don't have to spend too much money on security.
Okay.
And we have said we will fix, coming to some of the infrastructure, that's where we are going to now. Yeah. I have said we will grant full autonomy to the local government. So that in that way, whatever money is due them coming from the federal or the state, they will get. Any local government that has comparative advantage on anything, like talk about the Auchi granite, talk about cassava and all, will allow cottage industry to thrive in those rural areas. Will create access road to the farm. So people can be productive. People will begin to produce items in their rural area. If they cannot do the entire production, processing, which will create the value chain, they can do the primary or the secondary. That puts money in the rural community. Guess what? You don't have homeless people in the rural areas. You don't have hungry people. Yeah, okay, when I say hungry, I can qualify that.
Okay.
You don't have people that say they cannot eat at all in the villages. They go to farm. But today, most of them cannot go to their farms. So the little that's coming out from the farms becomes expensive.
You're talking about the insecurity challenge.
Insecurity.
So how would you deal with that?
We will grant full autonomy to the local government. They get their money fully. We support them. My instruction as a governor to the council chairman is, I do not want to hear that there's anybody in the forest stopping our people from going to their farms. And I tell you, they will flush them. Because when it happened, they will encourage the police. They will encourage the civil society. I don't even want to go into vigilante now. When they encourage them, because they have money, they send people within the community. None of those things will happen. New Year period, Christmas period, people couldn't go to my village, Uboha, because herdsmen were kidnapping people on the road. Empower council chairman and tell them, read the Riot Act. I do not want to hear, and it will not happen. Police force today, we worked for state police, and we said the only way that can work is have true federalism. So that in that way, the states will get more money to take care of the police, state police. So now we don't have that. Even the state police, the civil defense, DSS, name them in the state. No one of these agencies have a vehicle that can chase armed robbers for at least 100 kilometers or even 50 kilometers. No, they're all dead vehicles. Yes, the state is supposed to assist them. We will assist them. We can take over the management of their logistics. Fuel utilization, supply the fuel, the utilization, and the maintenance of the vehicle.